Saturday Night Live from San Diego, California, the UFC on ESPN features a bantamweight bout between Marlon Vera and former two-time UFC bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz. Let's break it down. Marlon Vera is 29 years old. He's 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach and a record of 19-7-1 with 7 knockouts and 8 submissions. From Chone, Ecuador, he started training in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu at the age of 16 and after a brief amateur career turned pro in February of 2012 with a first-round triangle choke submission. He quickly went 6-1-1 before joining the cast of The Ultimate Fighter Latin America, where he competed on Team Werdum but was unable to compete in the semifinal due to a skin infection. He made his official UFC debut in November of 2014, losing by unanimous decision to fellow castmate Marco Beltran, but bounced back 9 months later, earning his first performance of the night with a second-round triangle choke of Roman Salazar. After a decision loss to Davey Grant, he went on a 3-fight winning streak, including an armbar submission of Brian Kelleher, before dropping 2 in a row to John Lineker and Douglas de Andrade. He came back with a second-round body shot knockout of Wuliji Buren, and then embarked on another 5-fight winning streak, including a rear-naked choke of Guido Canetti and a performance of the night third-round knockout of Andre Ewell before dropping unanimous decision to Song Yadong. On October 15, 2020, he defeated Sugar Shane O'Malley, stopping him with ground and pound after dropping him with a brutal calf kick. However, in his next fight, he was outpointed by former featherweight champion and UFC legend Jose Aldo. In June of 2021, he avenged his loss to Davey Grant with a unanimous decision and 5 months later scored the biggest win of his career when, after an exciting back-and-forth slugfest, he knocked out former lightweight champion Frankie Edgar with a savage front kick to the jaw. On April 30th, 2022, he took on perennial contender Rob Font, withstanding an early onslaught to eventually turn the tide, landing a flying knee in the third round which dropped Font, before administering a hellacious beating en route to a unanimous decision victory. An elite-level grappler with an excellent ground game, Vera is also a highly tactical striker who can effortlessly switch stances as he applies constant pressure to his opponents. Dominic Cruz is 36 years old. He's 5'8", with a 68-inch reach and a record of 24-3 with 7 knockouts and 1 submission. From Tucson, Arizona, he took up wrestling in 7th grade, competing throughout high school until an arm injury in his senior year caused him to lose his scholarship to the University of Colorado. He attended a local community college for a time where he was studying to become a firefighter when he began his MMA career before making his professional debut in June of 2005 with a split decision victory. He quickly went 9-0 before joining World Extreme Cage Fighting, losing his debut via first-round guillotine choke submission to Uriah Faber. He bounced back with a first-round knockout of Kenneth Ames and followed that up with a 4-fight winning streak before knocking out Brian Bowles to win the WEC bantamweight title. He defended his belt twice with decisions over Joseph Benavidez and Scott Jorgensen before the UFC absorbed the WEC in 2010, with Cruz defending his new UFC belt the following year with a hard-fought decision over bitter rival Uriah Faber in a brutal fight that saw both men dropped multiple times. 3 months later, he defended the title against MMA legend Demetrius Johnson with a unanimous decision, but was later forced to vacate the belt after suffering a torn ACL and then having his body reject the transplanted one. After a 3-year layoff, he returned in September of 2014 with a first-round knockout of Takaya Mizugaki. However, shortly after the fight, he tore his ACL again, sidelining him until January of 2016 when he returned against TJ Dillashaw, winning a hard-fought split decision to reclaim the bantamweight title in one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the UFC. For his first defense, he concluded his trilogy with Uriah Faber via unanimous decision, but 6 months later, in December of 2016, took on Cody Garbrandt, getting dominated from the start and dropped multiple times en route to a unanimous decision loss. He was expected to return against Jimmy Rivera the following year. However, after suffering a broken arm and subsequent shoulder injury in 2018, he did not return to action until May of 2020 when he took on new champion Henry Cejudo, but was dropped in round 2 with a knee to the face and finished with ground and pound. He came back the following year with a split decision over Casey Kinney, and in December of 2021, earned the fight of the night with a gritty victory over Pedro Munoz, surviving 2 first-round knockdowns to take control of the fight en route to a unanimous decision. In an illustrious career that has unfortunately been plagued by numerous injuries, he is known for his unorthodox movement, good footwork, and excellent wrestling, and is one of the most agile fighters in the division who uses feints and a solid jab to set up strikes from all angles. Will Vera's power and elite grappling be able to overwhelm Cruz as he continues to prove he belongs among the best of the division? Or will the championship experience and awkward style of Cruz be too much for Chito as the Dominator attempts to make another run at bantamweight gold? Tune in Saturday night to Vera versus Cruz. Let's find out.